Hey there, good afternoon. Welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph and I am the host of this show, a show that's dedicated to progressive rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and other forms of rock music. So today we're doing our series video. This will be episode number 9, coming out on October the 9th, featuring The Cars Panorama. Really good album. Had a kind of a debate with myself between this one, Frantic City by the Teenage Head, and the J. Geils Band, Love Stinks. The three of them were all pretty close. The Teenage Head album was a lot more rockabilly-ish, but I like it quite a bit. The J. Geils Band was a lot more poppy with a lot more hits on it, but I think this album wins out over those three because it has no weak songs, where both of those albums had some really good strong songs, some mediocre songs, and a couple of songs I wasn't really crazy about. This album has nothing like that. It doesn't have a ton of strong songs like the other two, but it's much more even and much better overall than either of them, and I think the production is better on this album than either of those. Not that the production's bad on either of those, but I think it's just a little bit better on this album. So this album has about 10 tracks or so on it. For those of you not familiar with the Cars, they're a new wave band from the early 80s, late 70s. I've done quite a few of them lately. This is one of the better new wave bands, maybe the best. I'm not gonna rule that out, but a really solid band. I've always liked their music, because I think the reason I like it is, even though it's kind of poppy and new wave-ish, it's got a bit of a heavy element to it as well. The guitars are pretty heavy. The instrumentation is pretty good on this album as well. I like the drummer. He's not flashy or super good, but he fills those drum bits in there very well. So anyways, I usually for these videos have been picking like 3 or 4 songs I like and going over them a bit. So I've picked 4 on this album I like, and I like the other ones too, but these ones are my little bit of favorites. The number one for me is Touch and Go. That's the big hit on the album. I like the heavy tracks. I like the guitar solo in the middle too. It's quite good. Okay, the other tracks I like are Give Me Some Slack. This is a really good drum and guitar intro, kind of a Rolling Stones sound to it, and I don't mean Rolling Stones from like the 60s, 70s. It's got more of an emotional rescue side. But it's actually, the reason I think it sounds like the Stones is because it has that kind of sound of a couple songs on the Stones album, so that's what brought the Stones to mind here. Anyways, a good track. Down Boys. This is a pretty heavy guitar and like really tough, really heavy kind of a song. For them, it's heavier than most. This is one of the songs. I think this might be the only song that Benjamin Orr sings by himself. I like his voice better than Ocasek, but to me, Rick Ocasek is the voice of the Cars. He has that unique voice that fits their music perfectly. I think Benjamin Orr has more of a rock voice. He has more of a poppy voice, but for some reason I just like his voice better. Anyways, the other song I like quite a bit on this is Down and Out. Oh, sorry, Up and Down, Down and Out. Up and Down, that's what I was trying to say. Heavy keyboards and guitars and drums on this song. Very much all of them mixing together very well here. Another Ocasek vocal song, great. There was one song on the album, I believe it was You Were Those Eyes. You Were These Eyes. You Wear These Eyes, I think, or Those Eyes. I can't remember what it is. Anyways, it's a dual lead here, both of them doing vocals together. You can never mix up the two. They're very different sounding. Like I said, Benjamin Orr's voice is more mainstream sounding, kind of poppy sounding, whereas Ocasek is more new wave-ish and has that element that fits this band perfectly, I think. Okay, most of the other tracks, Don't Tell Me No, Getting Through, Running to You, Panorama, all solid tracks, really good. Running to You is a pretty heavy song. Not a bad song, and most of the stuff is really good, and the whole album has a kind of a similar kind of flow to it. There's no kind of weird songs that stand out or disjointed kind of mixing here. I think it starts out with Panorama and ends up with Up and Down, both solid tracks, and it's filled in nicely in the middle. So a pretty solid album. If you like the Cars, this album has got to be, for me, it's about probably number 2 or 3. It probably is number 3, but definitely doesn't lose anything to the bigger albums. In some ways it gains, because those bigger albums get played a lot and on the radio, and you just get sick of listening to them after a while. But this one doesn't get as much play, and so I haven't gotten as sick of it. So once in a while I will listen to this album. I've never owned it. The only one I've ever owned is the Candy O album, and I believe, without looking back there, I believe I have a Greatest Hits album as well. Somebody may have bought that for me. It wasn't that I didn't want it. It's the same story as it always is. It was just outbid by somebody else. And there was, this particular year, there was quite a few albums that I liked a lot, and I only had so much money, so most of the albums that are coming in at this point, like in the bottom third of this discography or of this series, aren't getting, I don't own them because for that reason. Or I think I've had about 3 or 4 of them this week, but all as albums and one as a cassette, and then the other ones I didn't have for the reason I just explained. But it's no less a great album. Eventually I'll own it. I know that's going to happen because I sometimes look for this when I'm going down the aisles and I see the Cars name. I will look for this album. If I can find it for a good price, I probably would take it. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video on the Cars Panorama, series video number 9, October the 9th. Please like, subscribe. We'll be back again tomorrow with yet another episode on another album from 1980. So please come back and see us. So have yourself a good day. Bye.